Away, me hearts! Surely, my hearts! Yare, yare! Take in the topsail! Send to the master's whistle! Blow till thou burst thy wind, if room enough!
Good boatswain, have care! Where's the master? Play the men!
I pray now, keep below!
Where's the master, boatswain?
Do you not hear him? He'll mar our labor. Keep to your cabins.
You do assist the storm!
Nay, good, be patient.
Seers, hence, what cares these roarers? For the name of the king, to cabin, silence, trouble us not.
Good, yet remember whom thou hast aboard.
None that I am more loved than myself. You are a counselor.
If you can command these elements to silence and work the peace of the present, we will not hand a rope more. Use your authority. If you cannot, give thanks you have lived so long and make yourself ready in your cabin for the mischance of the hour. If it so hap. Surely, good hearts, out of our way, I say.
I have great comfort from this fellow. Methinks he hath no drowning mark upon him. His complexion is perfect. Gallows. Stand fast, good fate, to his hanging. Make the rope of his destiny our cable, for our own doth little advantage. If he be not born to be hanged, our case is miserable.
Down with the topmast. Yeah, lower. Bring her to try with main course. A plague upon this howling. They are louder than with our office. Yet again, what do you hear? Shall we give o'er and drown? Have you a mind to sink?
A pox in your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, and charitable dog!
Work you then!
Hang her! Hang your worsen, insolent noisemaker. We are less afraid to be drowned than Antonio! Thou art?
I'll warrant him for drowning, though the ship were no stronger than a nutshell and as leaky as an unstaunched wench.
Lay her hold! Set her 2 courses off to sea again! Lay her off!
Oh, lost! To prayers! To prayers! Oh, lost!
What must your mouths be called?
The king and prince at prayers! Let's assist them, for our case is theirs.
I'm out of patience.
We are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. The swine chapter escal with the almightiest lie drowning the washing of 10 tides.
He'll be hanged yet, though every drop of water swear against it and gape at widest to part it.
Let's split! Farewell, my wife and children! Farewell, brother!
We split! Ah!
Let's all sink with the king!
Let's take leave of him.
Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren ground, long health, brown furs, anything? The wills above be done, but I would fain die a dry death.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them! The sky, it seems, will pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had, no doubt, some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would sunk the sea within the earth, or ere I should the good ship so have swallowed, and the fraughted souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, close the day! You ready?
No harm. I've done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of full Porcel, and thy no greater father.
Okay.
I'll just, it's going behind you.
Bit. Okay.
Rolling.
Ready? More to know to never meddle in my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee farther. Lend thy hand and pluck my magic garment from me.
Alright, so, Act 1, Scene 2, we've got Prospero and Miranda talking. And he asks her if she remembers her childhood at all, and she doesn't really at all. So he fills her in, tells her that his brother Ferdinand was a really good politician and a really good bullshitter, but more importantly was really good friends with the King of Naples, who was a royal asshole. He makes a deal with the king, and the king summons an army to kick Prospero out of his dukedom. And there's a small kerfuffle, but the people of Prospero's land love him so much that they put him on a boat along with Miranda, and that's how he ended up on the island and raised her. And then she starts crying because now she remembers, because Dad told her what happened. Ugh.
It is a hint that brings my eyes to it.
Hear a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business, which is now upon us, without the which this story were most impertinent.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business, but with colours fairer painted their foul ends. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats instinctively have quit it. There they hoist us to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the winds, whose pity, sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubim thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I have decked the sea with drops full salt under my burden groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine, some food we had, and some fresh water, that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, who, being then appointed master of this design, did give us, along with fine garments, linens, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steaded much. So, of his gentleness, knowing I love my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Now I arise. Sit still, and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster made thee more profit than other princes can, that have more time for vainer hours, and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm?
Know thus far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now my dear mistress, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence, if now I court not, but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here, cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant, come. I am ready now. Approach my Ariel. Come.
Approach my Ariel. Come.
All hail, great master! Grave sir, hail! I come to answer thy best pleasure, be to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding task, Ariel, and all his qualities.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to the point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck, in every cabin. I flamed amazement. Sometime I'll divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards, and bowsprit would I flame distinctly, then meet and join Jove's lightnings, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and outsight running, were not the fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring the most mighty Neptune seem to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
My brave spirit! It was so firm, so constant that this coil would not infect his reason.
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad, and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine and quit the vessel. Then all afire with me, the king's son, Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leaped, cried, "Hell is empty and all the devils are here."
Aye, that's my spirit. But was not this nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Oh, not a hair perished, well, maybe one hair. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish, but fresher than before. And, as thou badest me, in troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son I have landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting his arms in this sad knot.
Of the king's ship, the mariners, say how thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet?
Safely in harbour is the king's ship, in the deep nook, where once thou did call'st me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vexed Bermudes. There she's hid, the mariners all under hatches stowed, who, with a charm joined to their suffered labour, I have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, they have all met again, and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw the king's ship wrecked and his great person perish. Ha!
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
Oh, how now, Moody? What is it thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without grudge or grumblings. Thou didst promise to bate me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
Nope.
Thou dost, and thinkst it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind in the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Argier.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgetst. This stamped witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible, to enter human hearing from Algiers, thou knowst was banished. For one thing she did, that would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst thyself, was then her servant, and for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and poured commands, refusing her bread hest, she did confine thee by help of her more potent ministers, and in her most unmitigable rage, into a cloven pine within which rift imprisoned thou didst painfully remain a dozen years, within which space she died, and left thee there, where thou didst vent thy groans as fast as mill wheels strike, when then was this island, save for the son that she did litter here, a freckled whelp hag born, not honored with a human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service. Thou best knowest what torment I did bind thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl, and penetrate the breasts of ever angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurest, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his knotty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
Ah, that's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but mine, and thine invisible to every eyeball else. Go, take this shape, and hither come in it. Go, hence with diligence. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake!
Awake, dear heart, awake! Thou hast slept well. Awake!
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on, we'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What? Ho, slave! Caliban! Thou earth, thou speak!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say. There's other business for thee. Come, thou tortoise. When? Fine apparition, my quaint Ariel. Hark in thine ear. Thou poisonous slave, got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam, come forth!
As wicked do as my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fin drop on you both. A southwest blow on ye and blister you all o'er.
For this be sure, tonight thou shalt have cramps. Side stitches that shall pen thy breath up, urchins shall, for that vast of night that they may work, all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island's mine, by Sycorax my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokedst me and maddest much of me, wouldst give me water with berries in't, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less, that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee and showed thee all the qualities o' the isle, the fresh springs, brine pits, barren place and fertile, cursed be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, light on you. For I am all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king, and here you stay me in this hard rock, whiles you do keep from me the rest o' the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move, not kindness, I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Oh ho, would it had been done. Thou didst prevent me. I had peopled else this isle with Calibands.
Abhorred slave, which any print of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other, when thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but would gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, thou didst learn, had that in it which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hadst deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language, and my profit on't is, I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for learning me your language.
Hag seed, hence! Fetch us in fuel, and be quick. Thou'rt best to answer other business. Shrugst thou malice? If thou neglectest or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar that beasts shall tremble at thy din.
No, pray thee I must obey. His art is of such power it would control my dam's god Setebos, and make a vassal of him.
So, slave, hence!
All right, we're back, and Ariel brings in Ferdinand, young Ferdinand, and they sing together. It's pretty nice. Also, the song is about Ferdinand's dead dad, which is sad and spooky. And Prospero tells Miranda to look at Ferdinand, and she thinks that he is very hot and pretty. And Prospero is happy that Miranda thinks that Ferdinand is hot. And then Ferdinand sees Miranda, and he thinks that she's pretty hot too. And Prospero is very happy that Ferdinand thinks that his daughter is hot. So Ferdinand is just really happy to be in the company of people that actually understand him when he talks and speaks his language. And then it gets a little bit weird and creepy when Prospero acts like an old man around these hot young folks. And at one point, he tells Ferdinand to F off, but it's a trick because Prospero is magic and knows some psychology. Because this is all his plan. He wants Miranda to happen, you know, Fernando and Miranda. That needs to happen in his mind. And it's not helped because Miranda is really embarrassed because her dad is acting like a super weird old guy around her new hot friend. And if we want Miranda to happen, then maybe that shouldn't happen. But that's the end of the scene. That's the end of Act 1, Scene 2.
reflections that the sun sucks up from bogs, fens, flats on prosper fall and make him by inchmeal a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse, but they'll nor pinch. Fright me with urchin shows, pitch me in the mire, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way unless he bid him. But for every trifle are they set upon me, sometimes like apes that mow and chatter at me and after bite me, and then like hedgehogs, which lie tumbling in my barefoot way and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometimes I am all wound with adders, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Lo, now lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing wood in slowly, I'll fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me.
Here's neither bush or shrub to bear off any weather at all. Another storm brewing. I can hear it saying in the wind. Beyond saying black cloud, yon huge one. Looks like a foul bomber that would shed his liquor as it should thunder as before. I know not where to hide my head. Yon Saint Claude cannot choose but fall by painfuls. What have we here? Man or a fish? Dead or alive? A fish. It smells like a fish. A very ancient fish. A fish-like smell. A kind of not the nose poor John. Strange fish. Were I in England now, as I once was, and had but his fish painted, not a holiday fool there would give but a piece of silver. There would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man, when they will not give a do it. To relieve a lame beggar, they will lazy out 10. They will lazy out 10 to see a dead Indian, legged like a man, and his fins like arms, warm on my trough. I do not loose like my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander that has lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Yeah. Alas, this storm is come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter. Carry about misery, acquaint, and man with strange bedfellows. I will here stroud till the dregs of the storm will be past. Hi.
I shall no more to see. Here shall I die ashore. This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Well, here's to my comfort. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mate, loved Moll, Meg, and Marion and Marjorie. But none of us cared for Kate, for she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, "Go hang." She loved not the savor of a tar nor pitch,
yet a sailor might scratch her where she did itch. Then to sea, boys, and let her go hang. This is a scurvy tune too, but here's to my comfort.
You're not tormenting me. Oh!
What's the matter? Have we devils here? Do you put tricks upon with savages and men of Ind? Ha! I have not escaped drowning, to be afeard now of your 4 legs, for it hath been said, as proper a man as ever went on 4 legs cannot make him give around, and it shall be said so again while Stefano breathes at nostrils.
The spirit torments me. Oh!
This is some monster of the isle, with 4 legs, who hath got, as I take it, an ague, where the devil should he learn our language. I will give him some relief, if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor that ever trod on neat's leather.
Do not torment me, Prissy. Open my wood home faster.
He's in his fit now, and does not talk after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle, and if he have never drunk wine afore, will go near to remove his fit. If I can recover him and keep him tame, I will not take too much of him. He shall pay for him that hath him, and that soundly.
Don't dust me then it'll hurt. That will the none. I don't buy thy strangling. No, prosperous upon me.
Come on your ways, open your mouth. Here's that much which will give language to you. Cat, open your mouth. This will shake your shaking, I can tell you that soundly. You cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again.
I should know that voice. It should be, but he is drowned. And these are devils. Oh, defend me.
4 legs and 2 voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice now is to speak well of his friend. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches. And to detract. If all the wine in my bottle will recover him, I will help his ague. Come, amen, I will pour some in thy other mouth.
Stefano.
Doth thy other mouth call me? Mercy, mercy. This is a devil, and no monster. I will leave him. I have no long spoon.
Stefano, thou beast, Stefano. Touch me and speak to me, so that I am tranquilio. Be not afeard, thy good friend Tranquillo.
If thou be'st Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by the lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Thou art very Trinculo indeed. How camest thou to be the siege of this moon calf? Can he vent Trinculos?
I took him to be killed with a thunderstroke, but art thou not drowned? Stefano, I hope now thou art not drowned. I hid me under the dead moon calf's gabardine for fear of the storm, and art thou living? Stefano, oh Stefano, to Nepalence escape.
Prithee, do not turn me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fun things, and if they be not sprites. That's a bird have gotten. And bears celestial liquor. I'll kneel to him.
These be fine things, and if they be not sprites, it's a brave god and bears celestial liquor. and yield to him.
Well, how didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon the butt of sack, which the sailors heaved overboard, and by this bottle, which I made from the bark of a tree, and mine own hands, when I was cast ashore.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly. No.
Here then, swear how thou escapest.
Oh, swum ashore, man! Like a duck. I can swim like a duck. I'll be sworn.
Here, kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Stefano, hast any more of this?
The whole butt, man. My cellar is in a rock by the seaside where my wine is hid. How now, mooncalf? How does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon, I do assure thee, for I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee and thy dog in thy bush.
Ho 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 ho! Come, swear to that. Kiss the book. I will furnish it with new contents and all. Swear.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. I have feared him. A very weak monster. The man in the moon, a most credulous monster. Well-drawn monster, in good sooth.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of thee land, and I'll kiss thy foot. I pray thee, be my lord.
Oh, by this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll make myself your subject.
Come on then, down and swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster, a most scurvy monster. I couldn't find in my heart to
beat him. Come, kiss.
Yes! But that the poor monsters and drink, an abominable monster.
Я умоляю тебя, дай мне возможность принести тебя, где живут крабы. Я использую свои длинные когти, чтобы откопать разные вкусности для тебя. Я покажу тебе, где летают птицы, где гнезда, чтобы слушать. Я принесу тебя туда, где живут фильбри. Я покажу, где спрятаны лучшие орехи. Ты пойдешь со мной?
A most ridiculous monster, to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
Well, I prithee now, lead the way without any more talking. Oof. Trinculo, the king and all our company being drowned, we would inherit here. Here! Bear my bottle. Fellow Trinculo will fill him up by and anon.
Я не буду тебе больше строить дамбы для поймы рыб. Я не буду тебе приносить дерево для костра. Я не буду тебе больше мыть тарелки, мыть посуду. Бан, Калибан, у меня теперь новый мастер. Я теперь другой человек. Свобода, о-хо-хо. Вот это день. Свобода, вот это день. Свобода, свобода.
There be some sports are painful, and their labored delight in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This my mean task would be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead, and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times more gentle than her father's crab, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs and pile them up upon a sore injunction. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work and says such baseness had never like executor. I forget, but these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors most busy list when I do it.
Alas now, pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs that you were enjoined to pile. Pray, set it down and rest you. When this burns, 'twill weep for having wearied you. My father is hard at study. Pray, now, rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
Almost, dear mistress, the sun will set before I discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature, I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you. And I should do it with much more ease, for my goodwill is to it, and yours is against it.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I have broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady have I have eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I liked several women, never any with so full soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, you,
me,
so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save from my glass, mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad I am skillless of, but by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I therein do forget.
I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so, and would no more endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you did my heart fly to your service, and there resides to make me slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
Oh, heaven, oh, earth, bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true, if hollowly invert what is best is boded me to mischief. I, beyond all limit of what else in the world, do love, prize, honor you.
To weep what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heavens rain grace on that which breathes between them. Wherefore weep you?
At my unworthiness that dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning, and prompt me, plain and holy innocence. I am your wife, if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow, you may deny me, but I'll be your servant whether you will or no.
My mistress, dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
Aye, with a heart as willing as bondage air of freedom. Here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now farewell till half an hour hence.
1,000,000. Yeah, so glad of this as they I cannot be, who are surprised withal, but my rejoicing at nothing can be more. Now to my book, for yet ere supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
Hey, tell not me. When the butt is out, we will drink water. Not a drop before, therefore bear up in boredom. Servant monster, drink to me.
Servant monster, the folly of this island. They say there's but 5 upon this isle, and we are 3 of 'em. If the other 2 be as brained as us, the state totters.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee. Thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Where should they be set else? He were a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
My man monster hath drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore, 35 leagues off and on. By this light, thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster, or my standard.
Your lieutenant. If you list, he's no standard.
We'll not run. Is your monster?
Nor go neither, but you'll lie like dogs, and yet say nothing neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life, if thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe. I'll not serve him. He's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I am in case to jostle a constable. Why, thou debauched fish, thou, was there ever a man, a coward, that has drunk so much sack as I today? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
Lo, how he mocks me. Will thou let him, my lord?
Lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such natural.
Lo, again, bite him to death, I prithee.
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer, the next tree. The poor monster's my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Will thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made thee?
Marry, will I kneel and repeat it? I will stand. And so shall Trinculo.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer that by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest.
Thou liest! Thou jesting monkey! I would my valiant master would destroy thee! I do not lie!
Trinculo, if you trouble him any more in's tail, by this hand I will supplant some of your teeth.
Why? I said nothing.
None then. No more. Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got the idol. From me he got it. If thy greatness will, revenge it on him. For I know thou darest, but this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
And I'll serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, my lord. I'll yield him thee asleep, where thou mayst knock a nail into his bead.
Thou liest. Thou canst not.
What a pine is this? Thou scurvy pitch! I do beseech thy greatness. Give him blows, and take his bottle from him, that when that is gone he shall drink naught but brine. For I'll not show him where the quicker waters fresh.
Trinculo, run no further into danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand I'll turn my mercy out of doors and make a stockfish out of thee.
Why? What did I? I did nothing. I'll go further off.
Didst thou not say he lied?
Thou liest.
do I so? Take thou that! Take thou that! As you like this, give me the lie another time!
I did not give the lie! Out of your wits and bearing too! A pox on your bottle! This can suck and drink do, a marrying on your monster, and the devil take your fingers!
Now, forward with your tale. Prithee, stand farther back.
Beat him enough. After a while, I'll beat him too.
Stand farther. Come, proceed.
As I told thee, 'tis a custom with him, in the afternoon to sleep. There thou mayst brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log batter his skull, or paunch him with a stake, or cut his wisdom with thy knife. Remember first to possess his books, for without them he's but a sot, as I am, nor hath not one spirit to command. They all do hate him as rootedly as I do. Burn but his books. He has braid utensils, for so he calls them, which when he has a house, he'll deck withal, and the most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil. I never saw a woman, but only Sycorax, my dame, and she. But she as far surpasseth Sycorax, as greatest does least.
Is it so brave a lass?
She will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth a brave brood.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I will be king and queen, save our graces. And Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent!
Give me thy hand. I am sorry I beat thee. But, while thou livest, keep a good tongue in thy head.
Within this half hour he will be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on mine honor.
And this will I tell my master.
Ah, yes, thou makest me merry. I am full of pleasure. Let us be jocund. Will you throw the catch you taught me but while ere?
At thy request, monster, I will do reason, any reason. Come on, Trinculo, let us sing. Scout 'em and flout 'em and scout 'em, thought is free.
That's not the tune.
What is this same?
This is the tune of our catch. But played by the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest a devil, take it as thou list.
Oh, forgive me my sins!
He that dies pays all his debts. I defy thee. Oh, mercy upon us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster. Not I.
Art thou afeard? Be not afeard. This isle is full of noises, sounds and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices that, if I had waked after long sleep, will make me sleep again. And then in dreaming, the clouds methought would open and show riches ready to drop upon me that, when I waked, I cried to dream again.
This will prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing.
When Prospero is dead,
That shall be by and by. I remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it, and then after do our work.
Lead, monster, we'll follow. I would I could see this taburer. He lays it on.
Wilt come? I'll follow Stefano.
By Larkin, I can go no further. My old bones ache. Here's a maze trod indeed, through forthrights and meanderers. By your patience, I must rest me.
O Lord, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness, to the dulling of my spirits. Sit down and rest. Even here I will put off my hope and keep it no longer for my flatterer. He is drowned, whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. We let him go.
It's glad that he sowed of hope. Do not for one repulse forego the purpose that you resolve to effect.
The next advantage will we take throughly.
Let it be tonight, for now they are pressed with travel. They will not, nor cannot use such diligence as when they are fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this? My good friends, hark!
Marvelous sweet music.
Give us kind keepers, heavens. What were these?
A living drollery. Now I will believe that there are unicorns, that in Arabia there is one tree, the phoenix throne, one phoenix at this hour reigning there.
I'll believe both. And what does else want credit come to me? And I'll be sworn 'tis true. Travelers never did lie, though fools at home condemn him.
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me? If I should say I saw such islanders, for certes, these are people of the island, who, though they are of monstrous shape, are more gentle kind than of our human generation you shall find. Many, nay, almost any.
Honest lord, thou hast said well, for some of you there are worse than devils.
I cannot too much muse. Such shapes, such gestures, such sound, expressing, although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
Praised in departing.
They vanished strangely.
No matter, since they have left their viands behind, for we have stomachs. Wilt please you taste what is here?
Not I.
Faith, sir, you need not fear. When we were boys, who would believe there were mountaineers, dewlap like bulls, whose throats had hanging at 'em wallets of flesh, or that there were such men whose heads stood in their breasts, which we now find each putter out of 5 for 1 will bring us good warrant of.
I will stand to and feed, although my last. No matter, since I feel the best has passed. Brother, my lord the Duke, stand to and do as we.
You are 3 men of sin, whom destiny that hath to instrument this lower world, and what is in't, the never surfeited sea hath caused to belch up you, and on this island where men doth not inhabit, you amongst men being most unfit to live, I have made you mad, and even with such like valor men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud wind, or with bemocked at stabs kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dowel that is in my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strength, and will not be uplifted. But remember, for that is my business to you, that you 3 from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed into the sea, which hath requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deed the powers, delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, ye, all the creatures, against your peace. Thee of thy son Alonso they have bereft, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition, worse than any death can be at once, shall step by step attend you in your ways, whose wrath to guard you from, which here, in this most desolate isle, else falls upon your heads, is nothing but heart's sorrow, and a clear life ensuing.
Bravely the figure of this harpy hast thou performed, my Ariel. A grace at hand, devouring of my instruction, hast thou nothing bated in what thou hast to say. So, with good life and observation strange, my meaner ministers their several kinds have done. My high charms work, and these my enemies are all knit up in their distractions. They now are in my power, and in these fits I leave them, while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and mine love darling.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me, and the thunder, that deep and dreadful organ pipe, pronounced the name of Prosper. It did base my trespass. Therefore, my son, in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than e'er plummet sounded, and with him there lie mudded.
But one fiend at a time, I'll fight their legions o'er.
I'll be thy second.
3 of them are desperate. Their great guilt like poison given to work a great time after, now gins to bite their spirits. I do beseech you. You that are of suppler joints, follow them swiftly, and hinder them from what this ecstasy might now provoke them to.
Follow, I pray you.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends, for I have given you here 1/3 of my own life, or that for which I live, who once again I tender to thy hand all thy vexations, were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strongly stood the test here. Afore heaven, I ratify this my rich gift. O Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast her off, for thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise, and make it halt behind her.
I believe it against an oracle.
Then, as my gift and thine own acquisition, worthily purchased, take my daughter. But if thou dost break her virgin knot, before all sanctimonious ceremonies may with full and holy rite be ministered, no sweet aspersion shall the heavens let fall to make this contract grow, but barren hate. Sour eye disdain and discord shall bestrew the union of your bed with weeds so lowly that you shall hate it both. Therefore take heed, as Hymen's lamps shall light you.
As I hope for quiet days, fair issue, and long life, with such love as 'tis now, the murkiest den, the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion, or worster genius can, shall never melt mine honor into lust, or take away the edge of that day's celebration, when I shall think, or Phoebus' steeds are foundered, or night kept chained below.
Fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own. What? Ariel, my industrious servant? Ariel? it's you. What would my potent master? Here are you. Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, o'er whom I give thee power, here to this place, and cite them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me. Presently? Aye, with a twink. Before you can say come and go, and breathe twice and cry so, each one tripping on his toe, will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No? Dearly, my delicate Ariel, do not approach till thou dost hear me call. Well, I conceive. Look thou be true, do not give dalliance. Too much the rain, the strongest oaths or straw, to the fire of the blood. Be more abstemious, or else good night to your vow.
I warrant you, sir, the white cold virgin snow upon my heart abates the ardor of my liver.
Well, now come, my Ariel, bring a corollary. Rather than want a spirit, appear and pertly. No tongue, all eyes, be silent.
Ceres, most bounteous lady, thy rich lease of wheat, rye, barley, vetches, oats, and peas, thy turfy mountains, where live nibbling sheep, and flat meads, thatched with stover, them to keep, thy banks with piant and twilled brims, which spongy April at thy hest betrims, to make cold nymphs chaste crowns, and thy broom groves, whose shadow the dismissed bachelor loves, being last lorn thy pole-clipped vineyard, and thy sea marge sterile and rocky hard, where thou thyself dost err, the queen of the sky, whose watery arch and messenger am I, bids thee leave thee, and with her sovereign grace. Here on this grass plot, in this very place, to come and sport her peacocks fly and mane, approach, rich Ceres. Hail, many-coloured messenger that ne'er dost disobey the wife of Jupiter, who with thy saffron wings upon my flowers diffusest honey drops, refreshing showers, and with each end of thy blue bow doust crown my bosky acres and my unshrubbed down. Rich scarf to my proud earth, why hath thy queen summoned me hither to this short grassed green? A contract of true love to celebrate, and some donation freely to estate on the blessed lovers. Tell me, heavenly bough, if Venus or her son, as thou dost know, do now attend the queen, since they did plot the means that dusky dis my daughter got. Her and her blind boy's scandaled company I have forsworn. Of her society be not afraid. I met her deity cutting the clouds toward Paphos, and her son dove-drawn with her. Here thought they to have done some wanton charm upon this man and maid, whose vows are that no bed right shall be paid, till Hymen's torch be lighted, but in vain. Mars' hot minion is returned again. Her waspish-headed son has broke his arrows, swears he will shoot no more, but play with sparrows, and be a boy right out. Highest queen of state, great Juno comes, I know her by her gait. How does my bounteous sister go with me to bless this twain, that they may prosperous be, and honored in their issue? Honor, riches, marriage, blessing, long continuance and increasing. Hourly joys be still upon you. Juno sings her blessings on you. Earth's increase, poison, plenty, bonds and garners, never end. pretty vines and clustering bunches, growing plants with goodly burden growing. Spring come to you at the farthest, in the very end of the harvest. Scarcity and want shall shun you. Ceres' blessing so on you.
Come with a thought, I thank thee, Ariel, come.
My thoughts I cleave to, what's thy pleasure?
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban.
Aye, my commander, when I presented Ceres, I thought to have told thee of it, but I feared lest I might anger thee.
Say again, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so fun of valor that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which like unbacked colts they pricked their ears, and advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music. So I charmed their ears, that calf-like they my lowing followed through. Toothed briars, sharp furzes, pricking goss and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond your cell, there dancing up to the chins, that the foul lake o'erstunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible retain thou still. The trumpery in my house, go bring it hither, for stale to catch these thieves.
I go.
A devil, a born devil, on whose nurture can never stick, on whom my pains humanely taken, all lost, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. I will plague them all, even to roaring. Come, hang them on this line. Pray you, tread softly, that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. We now are near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is a harmless fairy, has done little better than played the jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, at which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, look you.
Thou wert but a lost monster. Good, my lord, give me thy favor still. Be patient, for the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore speak softly, all hushed in as midnight yet. Aye, but to lose our bottles in the pool.
There is not only disgrace and dishonor in that, monster, but an infinite loss.
That's more to me than my wedding. Yet this is your harmless fairy, monster.
I will fetch off my bottle, though I be o'er ears for my labor.
Prithee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise and enter. Do that good mischief for which may make this island thine own forever, and I thy Caliban, for I thy footlicker.
Give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
O King Stephano, O peer, O worthy Stephano, look what a wardrobe here is for thee. Let it alone, thou fool. It is but trash.
Oh, ho, monster, we know what belongs to a frippery. Oh, King Stephano. Put off that gown, Trinculo. By this hand, I'll have that gown.
Thy grace shall have it. The dropsy drown this fool. In what you mean, to dote thus on such luggage? Let's alone, and do the murder first. If he awake from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches. Make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster. Mistress Line, is this not my jerkin? Now is the jerkin under the line? Now, jerkin, you are like to lose your hair and prove a bad jerkin.
Do. We steal by line and level, and like your grace.
I thank thee for that jest. Here's a garment for it. Wit, shall not go unrewarded while I am king of this country. Steel by line and level, it is an excellent pass of pate. There's another garment for it.
Monster, come, put some lime upon your fingers, and away with the rest. I will have none on't. We shall lose our time, and all be turned to barnacles or to apes, with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, lay to your fingers, help to bear this away where my hogshead of wine is, or I'll turn you out of my kingdom. Go to, carry this.
And this.
Aye, and this.
Hey, mountain, hey!
Silver, aye, there it goes, Silver!
Fury, fury there, tyrant, there, hark, hark! Go charge my goblins that they grind their joints with dry convulsions, certain up their sinews with aged cramps, and more pinch-spotted make them than Pard o' Cattle Mountain.
Hark, here they roar.
Let them be hunted soundly. At this hour lie at my mercy all mine enemies. Short shall my labors end, and thou shalt have the air at freedom for a little. Follow and do me service.
Okay, back again for Act 5, Scene 1. And Prospero and Ariel are there, and it's really dramatic. We're now at the climax of the play, and it's time to do some magic. He's got his robes and his materials, and Prospero draws a circle on the ground because that's how you do magic. Everybody knows that. And he tells Ariel to bring in those royal idiots from Milan. You know, Alonzo, Gonzo, Rizzo, Sebastian, Antonio, Francisco, Riff, Adrian, etc., etc., and Prospero traps them all with some magic, and it looks super cool. I'm super serious here. If you see a production of the Tempest, this is usually one of the coolest looking scenes with all sorts of fire and lightning and wind and really cool live theater effects. We don't have that, but I need you to pretend. Just close your eyes and imagine a magic circle and some storm going on and a bunch of dumb people that are just sad and exhausted from being on a magic island. They're finally getting trapped, and Prospero starts telling them off, telling it like it is. Speaks to each of them individually and tells them what they've been doing wrong. And he tells Ariel sings a song, that happens, and Prospero frees Ariel. So take that as you will. The royals don't believe Prospero when he talks to them, because he just, looks like a weird old man on this island. And then Prospero gets mad and tells Gonzalo to help him get his dukedom back. And then we move on to the next part of the scene that I don't have.
If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon the shore, where I have lost. How sharp the point of this remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand. I am woe for it. Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure. I rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace for the like loss I have her sovereign aid, and rest myself content. You the like loss? As great to me as late and supportable. To make the dear loss have I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you, for I have lost my daughter. A daughter? Oh heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there. That they were, I wish myself were muddled in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter? In this last tempest. I perceive these lords at this encounter do so much admire that they devour their reason, and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth. Their words are natural breath, but howsoe'er you have been justled from your senses, know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very Duke, which was thrust forth of Milan, who most strangely upon this shore, where you were wrecked, was landed, to be the lord on it. No more yet of this, for 'tis a chronicle of day by day, not a relation for a breakfast, nor befitting this first meeting. Welcome, sir. This cell's my court. Here have I a few attendants, and subjects none abroad. Pray you, look in. My dukedom since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder, to content ye as much as me, my dukedom.
My sweet lord, you play me false. No, my dearest love, I would not for the world. Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose. A most high miracle.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now of all blessings of a glad father compass thee about, arise and say thou how camest you there.
Oh, wonder! How many godly creatures there are here! How beauteous mankind is! Oh, brave new world that has such people in it!
'Tis new to thee. What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that has severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence she's mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renown, but never saw before, of whom I have received a second life and second father. This lady makes him to me.
I am hers, but oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my child forgiveness. There, sir, stop. Let us not burthen our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone. I have inly wept, or should have spoken thus. Look down, you God, and on this couple drop a blessed crown, for it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither. I say, amen, Gonzalo.
Was Milan thrust from Milan, that his issue should become kings of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy, and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find at Tunis, and Ferdinand, her brother, found a wife, where he himself was lost. Prospero his dukedom, in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves when no man was his own.
Give me your hands. Let grief, sorrow still embrace his heart, that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so, amen. Oh, look, sir, look, here is more of us. I prophesied if a gallow were on land, this fellow could not drown.
Now, blasphemy, what says grace o'erboard?
Not an oath on shore? Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news?
The best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and yare and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea.
Sir, all this service have I done since I went?
My tricksy spirit. These are not natural events. They strengthen from stranger to stranger. Say, how came you hither?
If I did think, sir, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell ye. We were dead asleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches. But even now, with strangers and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and more diversity of sound, all horrible, we were awaked, straightway at liberty, where we in all her trim freshly beheld our royal good and gallant ship, our master capering to eye her. And a trice, so please you, even in a dream, we divided from them and were brought moping hither. Was it well done?
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
This is as strange a maze as e'er men trod, and there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge. Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. At pickled leisure, which shall be shortly, single I'll resolve you, which to you shall seem probable of every these happened accidents, till when be cheerful, and think of each well. Come hither, spirit, set Caliban and his companions free, untie the spell. How fares your gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company, some few odd lads that you remember not. Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Couragio, bully monster, couragio. If these be true spies where I wear my head, here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Setibus. These be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I'm afraid he will chastise me.
What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy him? Very like. One of them is a plain fish, and no doubt marketable. Mark. But the badges of these men, my lords, then say if it be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. These three have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's the bastard one, has plotted with them to take my life. Two of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness, acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is this not Stefano, my drunken butler? He is drunk now. Where had he wine? And Trinculo is reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded them? How camest thou to this pickle? I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never out my bones. I shall not fear fly blowing. Why, how now, Stefano? Touch me not. I am not Stefano, but a cramp. You'll be king of the island, sirrah. I should have been a sore one then. This is as strange a thing as e'er I looked on. He is a disproportion as in his manners as in his shape. Go, sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions, as you look to have my pardon. Trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will, and I'll be wiser hereafter and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god, and worship this dull fool.
Go to, away! Hence, and bestow your luggage where you have found it. Or stole it, rather. Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night, which part of it I'll waste with such discourse as, I not doubt, shall make it go quick away, the story of my life, and the particular accidents gone by since I came to this isle, and in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptial of these our dear beloved solemnized, and thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave. I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely. I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sail so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. My Ariel, chick, this is thy charge. Then to the elements be free, and farewell. Please, you, draw near. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true I must here confined by you or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hand. Gentle breath of my sail must fill or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself, and frees all folk. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.